And you said earlier you applied through clearing. What was that like?
I'd remember this day so specifically. My heart was like pounding.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God, no,
it's the end of the
I
world.
actually can't imagine.
It's so bad, but looking back at it now, I was just being a bit dramatic. Like,
I was definitely
it
just
is never
overthinking
the
that.
end of the
Yeah.
world.
Hi, I'm Holly and welcome to Help, I'm Going to Uni by Cardiff Met, where each episode I'll be talking with a real-life uni student about their university experience. Today I'm joined by second-year biomedical science student Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hello, guys.
Lovely to see you. You look lovely today.
Thank you so much.
That's
Same
okay,
to you.
no worries. Let's get straight into it. So how were you feeling before you started uni? Were you nervous? Like, what was...
I can't lie. I was not really excited to go to uni.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. It was just it was probably because I didn't actually know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know where I wanted to go, like which university and things. And so I didn't know which course I wanted to do. And so I was really not excited. But then when I actually got here and started moving, the process just got a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I was just not excited. I wasn't even nervous.
You were just like, I ain't feeling nothing.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't the
I was just
one.
like, okay, I have to go here again.
Yeah, fair. So you're an international student, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you want to tell me a bit about that? Like, where were you before uni? Like, where?
Okay, so whenever people say like, "Oh, where are you from?" That's like I'm like, "Oh, where am I from?"
You're, like, everywhere.
You know, literally. So I grew up in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
but I was born in Indonesia actually. So I was born in Indonesia and I lived there for like 3-4 years, and then I moved to Ghana for my parents' work. My dad works there, and then I grew up in Ghana for like 10 years. So about 10 years, and then when I was 14, I moved to the UK.
Yeah.
And I was actually in Bournemouth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in a boarding school. And then I did my GCSEs and my A-levels there. And then after A-levels, I came to Cardiff for uni.
Nice,
Yeah.
cool. How did you find boarding school? What was that like?
Oh my God. I loved boarding school.
Really?
I loved
I
boarding.
always am like envious of people that went to boarding school. I'm like, that seems kind of fun. I think they're onto something there. Like, I think that's like a sleepover every night.
Like it really is.
Yeah.
Like I'm so fortunate to be an international student and therefore I could go to boarding.
Yeah.
But I think because like 10 years in Ghana, we stayed in a very small camp. And so I was really excited to just be out in the world, technically. Yeah. And so 4 years in boarding, that was like my second home, I call it. You know, it's still my second home. Like Cardiff is like my third, technically.
You're like, I've just got a list of homes at this point. Like, you're adding to the list. No.
But yeah. We'd have like breakfast together, lunch with like all your day student friends as well as like your boarding friends. And you also just get to meet people from so many different cultures.
Yeah, that seems super cool.
We had like international nights and like every night there was an activity. And you lived in school. So you have like, my school had access to like all the facilities. We had like swimming pool, we had a tennis court, we had a big like field, a sports hall. And then we just played like basketball or like football on the courts and stuff like that. And it was just fun.
That does seem really fun. I'm kind of jealous. So with uni then, were you sort of feeling, obviously I know you said you weren't really feeling a lot before uni, but you're feeling almost like more prepared because like you had moved to the UK. Yeah. It's not like it was like, because like for me, when I moved to uni, that was like the first time moving out of like my mum and dad's house, like moving away from home. Whereas for you, like you'd already done that. So like it's less like you didn't have those nerves as much. Yeah.
That's why I didn't really feel as much just because moving was kind of in my nature, like practically, because like even when I was in Ghana, we'd go home every summer back to Indonesia to visit our family, and so like packing and like moving and like having different things in different houses was the norm.
It's just
for me.
like very
and so like moving to uni and moving from like Bournemouth to Cardiff was it was nothing really.
Yeah,
it was just like it was another room, it was another house. Yeah.
So why did you choose to come to Cardiff? Did you just like the city, like?
Yeah, so my brother actually he went to Cardiff Uni.
Did your brother like come and do like his GCSEs and stuff in the UK as well?
Yes, basically the same process, but he wasn't in Bournemouth. He was in like Swansea, I can't remember. Oh, right. But yeah, and so I would visit him in Cardiff because he was in Cardiff Uni, and I fell in love with the city. I was like, this is such a nice city.
Such a nice city,
it is
isn't it?
such a nice city.
That was the thing. I based like, when I was looking at uni, I was like, I kind of want to move to Cardiff. I was like, what's a good uni in Cardiff? I know Cardiff Met. Like, that was
exactly.
the vibe.
Like,
And you said earlier you applied through clearing. What was that like?
Oh,
what was the vibe with that?
Oh my God, I remember this day so specifically. My heart was like pounding. I was like, it's the end of the world. It's so bad, but looking back at it now, I was just being a bit dramatic. Like,
it
is never the end of the world, you know?
I feel like that's the thing. In the moment, things like that seem so like the end of the world. But it's like everything works out the way it's meant to. Like, it'll be fine.
Exactly. So yeah, I actually had applied to Cardiff Uni and then Surrey, and those are like my two choices. And then Cardiff rejected me, unfortunately.
But everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. And I was saying before, I applied to Cardiff Met because I really like the city of Cardiff. And then I came into Cardiff Met and I did biomedical science course. And then I realized, as they were talking about it, they were like, oh, this course is accredited. And I was like, oh my God, that is so much more helpful to me for my career in the future as a biomedical scientist. When I go to a course and the uni has the accreditations of it. And I was like, oh, it's like...
Yeah, no, because I had Claudia on another episode and she was saying the accredited things. And I was like, the accredited courses, like, come to Cardiff Met for the accredited courses. It is handy
so
for like going into like your career and stuff.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about like making friends and like uni life? Like, did you move into halls, I'm assuming? Like,
you know what? I think uni has actually changed me.
Yeah.
I used to be really extroverted. And I used
What, would you not say you were extroverted anymore?
No.
Really?
Like I will be
I feel
extroverted.
like you're very extroverted.
I was gonna say I'll be extroverted when I have to be extroverted.
Right, okay,
you know, and specifically like with people that I am comfortable with, or like I talk to you and I know your vibe. I'm like, oh my God, it's such a nice vibe. Like you know, like we're friends and it's all chill. But back then I was like even more extroverted with like strangers and stuff like that. And then I came to uni and I was actually a little bit heartbroken when I first came to uni. And so it was a bit hard. Yeah, it was hard because again, I was moving into a new city and all my friends that were in boarding, like that were literally a door away from me, was now not with me. And so it was just like, it was just hard being like sad. And then like I don't have any friends and then I have to make friends. But at the end of the day, you know, you get through it.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the thing. Like even if you're nervous about like making friends or anything like this, it all just works out.
Yeah. Like I think there's like so much pressure specifically in uni about making friends when the right people will come to you.
Yeah,
you know?
You will find your people.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's the thing. Even if it doesn't happen necessarily straight away, like you will find your people.
Exactly.
And like I always say to people as well, like not to encourage people to drop out of uni, but like if like you came to uni and you hated it, you could just leave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I say to people like always give it a go if you want to, like if you're thinking about it, because coming to uni was the best decision I ever made in my entire life. Like I would not.
You had other options?
Nah.
You knew you'd come to uni.
Well, this is the thing. All throughout school and stuff, and like college, I was like, oh, I don't want to go to uni. I don't want to go to uni. Like once I'm done with college, I don't want to like carry on doing more education. I was like, I'm over it. And then it got to like the point in college and like the start of second year, where everyone was like applying to unis and stuff. Then I was kind of like, oh, well, I kind of want to move out of this small little town that I live in. What's the easiest way to do that? Go to uni. And then my friend was talking about doing like fashion stuff at uni, and I was like, I love making clothes. I'll just go do a fashion design degree. And honestly, best decision. I made it pretty whimsical decision from me, but best decision I ever made, definitely. And so how do you find like affording to live or like cooking? Do you into cooking? Do you cook for yourself?
I do cook for myself. And that's actually one of the things that like the difference between living, because technically I lived away from my parents ever since like boarding school. Yeah. But in boarding, like we would be catered to, you know, like they would cater like to our cooking, and then they'd help us clean like vacuum our rooms and things like that. Yeah. But now that I live alone, it's definitely more responsibility. You're like, oh my God, I did have to learn how to cook. I don't necessarily like enjoy cooking. Unless it's something, unless like I see a TikTok or like a recipe, I'm like, oh, I want to try that.
TikTok recipe. I'm like, I want to make that.
Exactly. But unless it's like that, I'm like, it's kind of just like boring. So I just have to do it because I have to eat.
You're like,
you know?
I need to eat and survive. No, I get you. That's fine. I love cooking. That was honestly.
I do prefer baking though.
Really?
I love baking for some reason. I love baking. I love sharing like my goodies.
I don't like baking.
No?
Because I feel like when I'm reading a recipe, because baking you have to be more exact. When I'm reading a recipe, it feels like I'm being told what to do, and I don't like being told what to do.
Okay, but my version of baking is like I don't follow a recipe.
How does that work out for you? Like, does that work out okay?
I'm like, I kind of feel it needs to be less sweet, and I'm like, put less sugar in it, and I'm like, that's too much vanilla extract. I'm like, no, that's fine. Or like, it's too wet, I'll add more flour. I don't know. It turns out great, though.
If I ever bake, that's my type of baking, because I don't do it otherwise. Right, okay, I'm going to move on to our quick fire questions.
Now I'm scared.
These are the cards that we're talking about.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I know. Help me, Teeny.
Oh, Cardiff Met is always prepared, man.
They are. Right, okay. Your must-do in Freshers Week.
Go to Freshers Fair.
Yeah.
Go out clubbing at least once.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nice. What subject did you dread the most at school and why?
Bioinformatics, because it had a lot of... Oh, in school. I thought it meant in uni.
But still, what did you say?
Bioinformatics had a lot of coding in it. The module, if you guys do biomedical science, you must know how to code. Yeah. It was so bad. But in school, I didn't like French.
Really? J'adore le français.
No, I didn't like French.
I've got like nearly a year-long streak on French and Duolingo at this point.
Oh my god. Kudos to you.
I'm trying. Right, what's your best money-saving tip?
Take a picture of something you really want. And then... when you, like, don't buy it, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, take a picture of it. But then you go, and then if you're still thinking about it, if you look at the picture and you still want it, then, like, maybe get it. But if after that, you know what I mean? Like, after 3 days, you look at the picture, like, oh, actually, that wasn't that cute anyways.
Yeah.
That's literally how I save money all the time.
Yeah, that's smart.
I never cheap out on food, though.
No.
Like, food is food.
Food is food. You gotta get good food. No, I get that. What's your favourite thing to do in Cardiff?
Oh my god. Go on a walk.
Nice. Where's your favourite walk?
That's so stupid.
No, I love going on walks.
But
where's your favourite? Like at the park? Like...
Yeah, Butte Park, Worth Park.
I love a walk around Butte.
Like the Landgraf Cathedral.
Yeah.
I love going there.
No, it's lovely. What's your go-to ice cream flavour?
Mint chocolate chip.
Nice. I like that.
It's so controversial.
Procrastinator or focused?
Procrastinator.
Same.
So bad.
I wish I could be
It's
focused.
actually, I know, that's my dream. I think, like, the one superpower I would want is to be focused.
To be able to concentrate. I feel that. What's your idea of a perfect date?
A date?
Yeah.
Like, with who?
Like with someone you fancy?
It could be a friend date.
No, like what's your, like, ideal first date?
My ideal first date, we go for a walk, and then we go have food, and then we go to the arcade and play games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice and wholesome. I like that. Could you survive 24 hours without your phone?
Yeah. Well, Duolingo streak. That's the only thing
I'm like, only if I've got streak freeze. Like,
yeah, literally.
I'm like, otherwise,
that's
no.
the only, yeah, I'm like, no, thank you.
Rich or famous?
Famous.
Thank you. I feel like people always say rich, and I'm like, no, famous. Like famous.
For a good reason.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I don't really like crave being rich. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be famous. Okay. If you could only communicate through emojis for a day, which 3 emojis would you use the most?
The you know what she's like?
I know exactly what you mean.
I love that emoji.
Yeah.
And probably the one that was like, the guy with like the eyebrow.
Oh, yeah. And it's
he's like yeah, exactly.
City life or countryside?
Country.
What's the best chat-up line you've used or that you've had that's been used on you or something? I hate chat-up lines. I should be like, you're fit.
Oh, it's probably like, do you have a Band-Aid? Because I just scraped my knee falling for you.
Brother,
That's the only one I can remember.
Well, that's you use that.
Yeah. It works.
Oh my god.
Kidding, it does not.
I was going to say, who was that working on?
It doesn't.
That's scary.
Work.
I'd be like,
that's just the only one I
think the
always have
worst
in the
part
back
is
of my
that, like,
head.
if someone used that on me and like they were fit enough, I'd be like, okay.
What about you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't believe in chat-up lines. I just believe in good looks.
Straightforward.
Yeah. I believe in, like, I'm like, I
Good
fancy
looks.
you. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever binge-watched an entire series in one day?
In one day? No.
What's a skill you've always wanted to learn and why?
I probably wanted to learn how to write with my left hand.
And have you?
No.
No. I went through a phase when I was younger of wanting to do that as well.
It's because I also broke my right arm.
Oh.
And actually, I broke both my arms.
I just wanted to be ambidextrous. Like, this would be cool.
No, but it would be really cool.
Yeah.
It would just be so convenient. Like, if your right hand's full.
Yeah. Best song of all time?
Oh, that's a good... Well, this is scary. Thinking About You by Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that's a good song. Okay, I'm about to start. Perfect.
That was really fire questions right there. I was like, oh my god, my brain.
That's my favourite, but I love the questions. So tell me a bit about yourself. What do you like to do outside of uni? Like, obviously we've already spoken about, like, you went to boarding school and all of this, but like outside of uni and like your course, what do you like doing? Like, what's your vibe?
Okay, like I said, I've been really introverted ever since I came to uni, but I don't know. I like to go on runs these days.
Oh, nice. I'm into running.
Like, I just love being outdoors. Like, you know, go picnics in the park with my friend.
I feel like Cardiff's a really good city for that as well.
Yeah, that's
so
what
much
I just
nice outdoor
love
space.
for it, especially when it's not raining.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not that happens often, but when it's not raining, it's lovely.
It's really nice. I like to do a lot of things on my own, really. I love music. Like, I do biomed, but I love music. There's like not just music as in like, oh, I like listening to music. Like I like making music.
Yeah.
I like
God, really?
yeah, I like songwriting.
That's so
Like,
cool. I wish I could write songs. That's
no, I'm not saying my songs are good.
No, but still, I feel like even if I try,
do,
like I can't do it. Like, do you play like instruments and stuff?
Yeah, I do. That's what I was gonna say. I really
Yeah.
miss like I have a piano back home,
Nice.
and then I have a guitar, and then I also play the violin and the ukulele, which
Oh my God, I
have
play
a
ukulele as
I have a
well.
small ukulele here, and I was like, love it.
That's super cool. I love music. I'm really not good at it though. But like I have a keyboard on top of my wardrobe that I bring down every now and again and play like
so nice.
especially if I'm feeling a bit heartbroken, I'll play like some sad Lana Del Rey or like some sad Georgia Smith.
It's just
Yeah.
so
And my
good to
ukulele
take
for
your
when I'm
mind.
in like a fun mood. Those are my go-to instruments.
And I don't know, I like sewing. You're a fashion
like, yes.
sewing.
Me too.
But like just I don't know, sewing kind of DIYing my own clothes.
Yeah.
You know, when I get bored of something, I'm like chop it up and then like add something. Yeah, exactly. Or a little bit of painting now and then.
Cool.
But
I like that. And so why did you decide to go to uni? Like was that just sort of like just what you were going to do next, or like was it sort of like that you didn't really know what else to do?
Yeah, I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
I was like, what do I do after this? My parents were like, the best thing you could do is just go to uni and just get a degree. And after you get a degree, at least you have a degree. And then you can
that's so true.
look for a job, you know? Because
that was, sort of my mindset.
yeah, exactly. Like after A levels, you're just like, you just have A levels and that's it, you know? So I was like, oh, maybe I could do it. And it's also kind of hard as an international student.
Right.
Because you have to get like sponsored and things, and you have to think about your visa and all that.
Yeah.
And being Indonesian as well, it's like really hard. I think that's like one of my like pet peeves a little bit is being like Indonesian. No offense to the Indonesians. I'm gonna sound so ungrateful.
You're
so
like,
grateful.
It's literally my pet peeve. Like, you don't like it.
No, but it's just like it's such a big struggle. This is such first world problem. Like I'm grateful. I'm really
I'm grateful. I promise. That's funny.
But yeah, just
It's like visa stuff.
yeah,
like,
just visa. Yeah, like even when I do have a visa, like I travel so often. I go back to Ghana, back to Indonesia, back to the UK, and still every single time there's always a problem with like, oh, do you have a visa to go here? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Like I've been through this process.
Yeah, you're like, I do this like 3 times a year.
Yeah,
like, please.
literally.
No, that does seem like a ball ache, to be fair.
But yeah.
How do you get the most out of being a student? Like, do you do like extracurricular activities? Like, you part of any societies, anything like that?
You know what? I actually don't.
You're like, no.
I'm not part of any societies. It's so bad.
No, to be fair, I wasn't until this year. And even then, I joined...
What society? Yeah, what society?
I joined the Met Marketers because my friend Molly was president of it. But then she stepped down from being president not that long after. So then I just was never part of that again.
I'm part of like the Filipino Society, which actually did help me a lot.
Oh, nice.
Like I joined them in Freshers Fair, and then like I'm not Filipino obviously, but like it's like same kind of culture. And then so I hung out with them quite a lot during the first year.
Did you make friends?
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yes.
What would you say your tips on studying? Got any tips for us? Or are you CEO of being a procrastinator?
Well, okay. I am procrastinator, but I know I need to do it, you know? And so I think my only study tip is find what works best for you.
Yeah.
I know everybody says that, but honestly that's
true.
the most like important thing. Like try out different study like methods, and if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. Then try a new one, you know what I mean?
I think my friend Beth, shout out Beth, gave me probably the best and worst advice ever the other day when it came to uni work. And she was like, whether you have 3 weeks to do it or 3 days to do it, you'll always get it done.
Yeah.
And that I thought was so inspiring because I was okay.
That is so true though.
Yeah, but it is,
like,
isn't it? Because it's
we
like, okay,
never
well, like,
miss a deadline.
No, I was going to
Deadlines
say, I've never missed a
scary.
deadline. I've never got on an extension. Like, well, luckily, like, I've never had to get an extension. Like, do you know what I mean? I've not been ill or anything. But, like, when Beth told me that, I was like, that's so true because, like, I will get it done. Like, whether or not I have 3 weeks or 3 days, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
And maybe that just encourages me to procrastinate more. But it also made me feel less stressed. Because this was like
That's
heavy,
so
like
true.
end of third year deadline season. We were all like frantic.
People
and it was
are
like, yeah.
Okay, see, this is what annoys me because people are always like, oh, start it while you can. And like start it like the earlier you start it, you have like less pressure on you. But that's just not my study method. I'm like, that might be for you, but for me it's not. If like the deadline is in 2 months, and also depends on what it is, and then I like look through it and I'm like, oh, I could get this done within like a week. I'm not gonna start it like 2 months like prior to the deadline.
Then my mindset with that is then you're elongating the stress over a period of 2 months rather than just a condensed period of a week.
No, not us making excuses.
We're enabling each other.
We're literally feeding into each other's delusions. You're like,
we're like, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, I honestly think it does though. Maybe we're deluded, but I genuinely think it does. Like,
and my brain is just more concentrated within that week. Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
Instead of being like, oh, I'll write like 30 words here and then 30 words the next day and then 30 words. And then it's all just like mumble jumbled.
Yeah, I'd rather do like a load at once.
Yeah.
The only time I would say that I didn't do that was writing my dissertation. Every Tuesday.
I forgot you
were. Yeah, every Tuesday from the start of third year, like we did like dis on Tuesdays because like that's our designated day for it. But like every Tuesday I would go to the library and do it. And that's the only thing that I did.
I mean, fair enough. But like, that's like a big,
serious. That was
like,
10,000 words.
Big, that's a big project.
But I still got it done. Exactly. Even if I procrastinated, I got it done. So that's the moral of the story.
These future students are going to be like,
yeah. Where would you say is your favourite place to go out in Cardiff? Do you go out a lot? Like,
go out like clubbing?
Yeah.
I don't go out clubbing a lot. I think I've been to like Revolution and then Circuit, and that's practically it.
Fair. Well,
I just don't like the clubs.
No, that's fair.
Like, I'm just not a clubbing type girly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like in first year, like, we would go to, like, Revs and, like, Circuit Prism then and stuff.
Yeah, oh my God.
Back in the day. But I'm like, oh, we're so old now. But now I feel like we're more, like, pub misfits.
Yeah, it's more like sit down, have a conversation, and then when you do want to go dance, you do go dance. Yeah. But like, it's not
I much prefer
all
that
the
to
time.
like, like I couldn't tell you the last time. Yeah, I actually don't know like the last time that I went to like a club. Do you know what I mean? And went like clubbing, like.
It's just like it's too stuffy in there for me.
And it wasn't even that long ago, to be fair. Like, I can't
like a week ago.
No, it was definitely at least like a few weeks ago. But like I go out quite a lot, so it's pretty good going for me.
But I do know the nightclubs in Cardiff are pretty good. And it's also such a walkable city.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about Cardiff is that like it's big enough that like, well for me, like I was moving from like a small town to a city. It's like big enough that it's like a good first city to live in. But also like it's small enough that it feels still like kind of homely and like kind of towny. Yeah, exactly. It's a very towny city, cute. I feel is what people say. Nice. With your accommodation, you said you lived in halls in first year.
Yeah.
Did you live private halls, uni halls?
Uni halls. I lived in the Cardiff Met Plasgwen.
Oh, I lived in Plasgwen as well.
Yeah, which one? Which building?
Brecon.
Oh yeah, I lived in Anglesey.
In Anglesey?
It was not renovated.
No, I was going to say Brecon and Anglesey. I love them, but... Compared to like when I became friends with the other people in like the refurbished blocks, I was like,
the way I was so jealous. Yeah, I was like,
but honestly, I loved Brecon. Brecon 8. I was Brecon 8. If anyone watching this has ever lived in Brecon 8, because that was the place to be. That was my favorite. I loved living in halls. Did you like living in halls?
Yeah, I did.
I loved it.
It was really fun.
It was literally the funnest year. Like when we moved out of halls, we literally cried. We were like, we don't want to leave.
Oh,
I know, it was really emotional.
I would say I can relate, but I really couldn't.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
No, it's just because like my flat, we were like a non-alcoholic flat, and then it was just like the master students and the older students, they had like families, and they honestly just wanted to get their degree and like leave.
And you're there like,
I'm just like, like
I'm
an 18-year-old. Like, I was like, let's go.
There's like people that are literally like, go away, like I need to get my degree and like feed my kids, and you're literally like, let's go out.
And I'm like, oops. But I met one of my best friends there, like really? Ever, and so we met like at the I remember it so like specifically. We were at the tent, and then I came in and I was like, oh, I'll sit by her, like she looks nice. And then we realized we were like living right like across from each other, like my room was right opposite to hers, and now we live together in a house. So
that's super cute. Yeah, I love that. Wholesome end to this episode. Thank you so much for joining me today, Amanda. It's been lovely to chat to you. I always love a chat with you. When I was like looking at this, I was like, oh, film with Amanda today. Perfect. That's good. But thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been Help, I'm Going to Uni by Cardiff Met. I'm Holly, and I'll see you next time.